Meet Jack, a 45-year-old who has been struggling with kidney stones for the past few years. Just last week, after a busy day at work, he started feeling that familiar pain in his lower back. He thought it was just fatigue at first, but as the hours passed, the pain intensified, and it quickly became clear Jack was passing a kidney stone again. After a long history of dealing with these excruciating episodes, he knew he had to do something fast to relieve the pain. Like Jack, many people experience kidney stones at least once in their lifetime. According to recent studies, about 1 in 11 people will suffer from kidney stones, and the symptoms can be unbearable. The sharp cramping pain as the stone moves through the urinary tract can cause nausea, and in some cases, it can be so severe that it requires immediate medical attention. But what if you could relieve this pain and even pass the stone naturally without needing to rush to the hospital? In today's video, we're going to explore some emergency solutions to help relieve the pain of passing kidney stones, along with a method you can try when you find yourself in a situation where medical help is out of reach. If you ever find yourself on a desert island or in a situation where you can't immediately see a doctor, this could be the natural remedy that saves you. Let's dive in. Jack had tried various methods to pass his kidney stones before. He'd been through the pain, the hospital visits, and even some surgeries. But this time he was determined to manage it on his own. He remembered a technique that his doctor, Dr. Berg, had shared with him during a previous consultation. If you're passing a kidney stone, Dr. Berg had said, the first thing you should do is hydrate, and hydrate a lot. This advice had seemed simple, but it made sense. The kidneys are the organs that filter waste and fluid from the blood, but when a stone gets stuck in the urinary tract, it obstructs the flow. Drinking water helps create space in the system, increasing the chances that the stone can move through to the bladder. Dr. Berg mentioned staying hydrated can sometimes even help flush out the stone before it causes further complications. So Jack grabbed a large bottle of water, drank it down quickly, and then added a pinch of potassium citrate. He remembered Dr. Berg mentioning that potassium citrate can help with the two most common types of kidney stones, oxalate stones and uric acid stones. The citrate helps to alkalize the urine, which reduces the formation of uric acid crystals and even aids in dissolving existing stones. As Jack continued hydrating, he decided to try another method, a technique known as manual therapy. While it might sound unconventional, this technique involves gently pressing on specific areas of the abdomen to encourage the stone to move. Jack had been taught by Dr. Berg to apply gentle pressure, about 1 to 2 inches from his belly button, pressing down slowly, alternating between the right and left sides. By doing this, he could help guide the stone toward the bladder, where it could be passed out of the body more easily. Jack knew that this technique wasn't a cure-all, but it was worth trying, especially since he didn't have access to medical help at the moment. As he pressed and relaxed his muscles, breathing deeply, the pain began to subside slightly. It wasn't gone, but it was more bearable. It was a small victory in an otherwise painful situation. The science behind this is rooted in simple biology. The body naturally tightens up when in pain, but deep breathing and gentle pressure help to relax the muscles around the stone, allowing it to move more freely. Dr. Berg's advice was practical and effective, and Jack felt a sense of relief knowing that he was using methods that worked for others in his situation. After about 20 minutes, Jack started to feel a little more comfortable. The pain hadn't disappeared entirely, but it was more manageable. He continued drinking the lemon juice and water mixture Dr. Berg had recommended, remembering that the lemon juice not only helps alkalize the body, but also provides much-needed hydration. Lemon juice is packed with citric acid, which, as Dr. Berg explained, plays a crucial role in preventing kidney stones and even dissolving them. As the pain began to throb in Jack's side, he tried to focus on the advice Dr. Berg had shared with him during their last consultation. He knew he wasn't the only one going through this. He had heard from many others who had suffered from kidney stones and had learned that even a simple change in routine could sometimes offer relief. But now, in the middle of the pain, Jack had to push aside any lingering doubts and focus on the simple actions he could take. Jack had been dealing with kidney stones for over 5 years, ever since he first had a stone in his mid-30s. The initial shock of the pain had left him with a deep fear of the condition. The first stone was the worst. He recalled the excruciating sharp pain that felt like a knife being twisted into his side. It had sent him straight to the ER, and after a few scans and hours of waiting, he had learned that the small stone in his kidney wasn't the end of it. It was just the beginning. From that moment on, he would become familiar with kidney stones all too well. But today was different. This time, he wasn't going straight to the hospital. He was on his own. For the past few months, he had been researching everything he could find about kidney stones and their natural remedies. Dr. Berg's advice about hydration, manual therapy, and the use of lemon juice seemed straightforward, yet Jack had never tried this combination before. Would it work? Would it really help push the stone through? The first step he knew was to hydrate. He reached for a gallon of water that he had been keeping nearby. He had learned over the years that hydration was key. Kidney stones form when minerals and salts in the urine concentrate to form crystals, and drinking enough water can help prevent that from happening in the first place. Dr. Berg had always stressed how important it was to drink plenty of water throughout the day, and even more so when one is experiencing a kidney stone. Jack's goal now was simple: drink as much water as possible. As he chugged the water, he could feel the dull throb of pain, but he was hopeful that his body would eventually respond to the influx of fluid. The water wouldn't instantly remove the stone, but Jack knew that by creating more space in his kidneys, the stone might eventually pass with less difficulty. He recalled Dr. Berg mentioning that potassium citrate could be used to help with both oxalate and uric acid stones. If the stone was too big to pass easily on its own, the potassium citrate could help reduce its size or at least make the passage more manageable. Jack didn't have potassium citrate on hand, but he had something that might help just as well: lemon juice. The citric acid in lemon juice could help alkalize the urine, making the body's natural environment more favorable for dissolving kidney stones. Jack poured a generous amount of fresh lemon juice into his large glass of water, stirring it with a spoon. As he took a sip, he felt a slight relief, like a small balm to the chaos his body was experiencing. Over the next several minutes, Jack settled into a routine. As the water flowed through his system, he slowly began to press into his abdomen, following the manual therapy technique that Dr. Berg had described. The idea of using manual pressure to push the stone down toward the bladder had sounded strange at first, but Jack now understood the logic behind it. The body naturally tenses up when in pain, and the idea was to relax the muscles, allowing the stone to move more freely. Jack's hands were steady, and his breath was slow. He had learned in yoga classes that deep, controlled breathing helped in moments of tension. He began on the right side, just below his ribcage, pressing gently, moving his fingers in small circles. The pressure caused a brief flash of discomfort, but Jack stuck with it, alternating between gentle movements and taking slow breaths. After a few minutes on the right side, he shifted to the left side. He pressed into the area just below his ribcage, slowly moving downward as instructed. The stone, Jack suspected, was stuck somewhere in that general area, preventing it from flowing freely. Each press was like a small push, working toward a larger goal: getting the stone out. As he continued, Jack couldn't help but think of how far he had come. The first time he had passed a stone, it felt like an insurmountable challenge. He had been terrified and overwhelmed by the pain. Now, with each experience, he had built resilience. It wasn't just the physical pain that he had learned to manage. It was also the emotional toll. Kidney stones didn't just cause physical suffering. They often left Jack feeling helpless, like his body was betraying him. But over the years, Jack had gained knowledge, and knowledge had given him power. He had learned what worked and what didn't, and each time he dealt with a stone, he became better equipped to handle it. Jack took another sip of his lemon water, feeling more relaxed. He noticed that the pain had diminished somewhat. It was still there, but it was no longer sharp or debilitating. He continued with his manual therapy, moving his hands down toward the lower part of his abdomen, where his pelvis began. He could feel the muscles in his abdomen relaxing, and the tension that had gripped him earlier seemed to be loosening. As Jack sat back in his chair, he reflected on the advice Dr. Berg had given him over the years. Dr. Berg had always emphasized that the best remedy was prevention. Jack's experience with kidney stones wasn't just about the immediate pain. It was about the choices he made every day to prevent the stones from forming in the first place. Staying hydrated was a priority for Jack now. He remembered reading somewhere that the American Urological Association recommended drinking at least 2.5 liters of water daily to help prevent kidney stones. Jack had started this habit years ago, and he had seen a decrease in the frequency of kidney stones, even though they still occurred from time to time. The manual therapy was another important tool in his arsenal. Though it wasn't a cure-all, it gave Jack a sense of control in an otherwise uncontrollable situation. The combination of hydration, manual therapy, and natural remedies like lemon juice was something Jack had come to rely on. He was beginning to feel the pain subside, and it gave him hope that he might be able to pass the stone more easily than he had feared. Eventually, after some time, Jack felt the stone begin to move. The discomfort lessened even more, and with a final breath of relief, he knew that the worst of it was over. He still had to deal with the aftermath, passing the stone, but the pressure and the sharp pain had diminished. Jack thought about the future. He knew he would continue to face challenges with kidney stones, but now he felt more prepared. His body wasn't betraying him. It was responding to the actions he was taking. This was the power of knowledge that could change the way you lived with a condition, turning it from a source of fear into something more manageable. Jack's experience is a powerful reminder that managing kidney stones doesn't always require surgery or invasive procedures. With the right natural remedies, such as hydration, lemon juice, and manual therapy, you can find relief and even prevent future stones from forming. The lesson here is clear. While you can't always control when a kidney stone forms, you can control how you respond to it. By staying hydrated, incorporating preventative practices into your daily routine, and learning natural techniques like manual therapy, you can reduce the pain and discomfort that kidney stones cause. You can't prevent every stone, but with the right tools, you can certainly make your journey with kidney stones a little less painful. The best part? You're not alone in this. There's a community of people just like Jack who are navigating kidney stones with knowledge and care. And each small step you take, whether it's drinking more water, eating foods that support kidney health, or trying natural remedies, gets you closer to better kidney health. Don't let kidney stones control your life. Take charge today, and remember, every small step is progress. If you're dealing with kidney stones or know someone who is, don't hesitate to share this video. We can support each other and find comfort in the knowledge that there are ways to manage kidney stones naturally. If you found this information helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more health tips and advice. Take care of yourself, and don't let kidney stones hold you back.